Short grain hair. I am. Today I'm wearing a green sweater with red sleeves. Our speakers provide visual descriptions to welcome people with visual impairments and those listening online. We are excited to be in community with you today. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones and also move to a seat in the middle of your section to leave aisle seats open for those with accessibility needs. Thank you. If you are visiting for the first time, stop by the welcome table to pick up a visitor's gift with more information about our community. Look for Getting to Know UU sign in Beach Hall after the service to learn more about our congregation. And everyone is welcome to come and chat with me or another board member after the service. There's a lot going on at First UU. Right now, we are voting on a proposal to increase the leadership on the board from 6 to 9 members. If you are a member, you should have received an email with a personalized link to vote online. If you haven't voted already, you can still vote between now and Monday, February 23 at noon. If you haven't received the email or have a question, please email us at ballot@firstucolumbus.org. Your vote is important. For information about this and more, check your order of service or look at your Sunday reminder email. Now I'd like to introduce Jim Pinkham with our auction team for a short special announcement.
Thanks, Bill. Hi. My name is Jim. Please buy your auction tickets, Pinkham. I'm a guy in my late 50s wearing a dark blue shirt and glasses. I just have 2 quick things to say for our big Making Waves auction celebration, which is only 2 weeks away. Saturday, February 28th from 6 to 9. Online bidding begins right now, actually, for treasures, and it continues until midnight Friday. Then we have bidding for food, fun, and frolic, all the services and things. That goes until the following Friday at midnight, right before the auction. If you've never experienced an auction at First UU, you are in for a treat. It's a fun party with food, drinks, amazing decorations, all your closest UU friends having a great time, plus some enjoyable fundraising. You can bid on year-round events where we share food, talents, and some special items with each other. You don't want to miss it. So my number 1 message today is buy your tickets by this Thursday, February 19th. You want to eat, right? The caterer needs to know. So that's just 3 days for that life-changing decision. Pick chicken or vegetarian, okay? I'd like to invite you to visit our table in Beach Hall or find the big auction link on the church website, the main church website. When you get to the auction website, buy dinner tickets is the link right at the top. So my number 2 message is we still need some volunteers to make all this happen. That's the link right under, buy dinner tickets. So anyway, get ready for our fantastic Making Waves auction, Saturday, February 28th. Thank you very much. And now, if you would, please rise in body or spirit to sing number 1000, Morning Has Come.
With joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of glory shines upon each face.
I'm the Reverend Kelly McNeil. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve as your minister of congregational life. I am a white millennial with long, dark hair, and I'm wearing a black dress with a teal print on it. This morning, we gather on the stolen lands of the Wyandotte, Miami, Seneca, Erie, Shawnee, Delaware, and Cayuga people, many of whom were forcibly removed. We support the Native American Indian Center of Central Ohio in their Land Back campaign, and we know that we have more to do to be in true relationship and solidarity with this land and those indigenous to it.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Dr. Teresa Cooley. It's my privilege to serve as your lead minister. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a woman in her mid-60s now. I don't look it though, right? That's not... With a cream-colored sweater that has gold glitter shot through it, because on a dreary morning like this, you need a little bling, right? So I'd like to invite those of you who are visiting for the first time, only if you feel comfortable, to rise so that we can greet you. And to have you with us. Thank you. Glad to have you with us. And now we know who they are so we can greet them. So let us enter into the spirit of worship with these words from Scott Taylor. Joy doesn't simply arise, it flies, it flings. No, it is flung, it is passed, it is spread between you and me, between the one who just received a gift and the one who has been looking for it for oh so long. It's a beautiful and elegant contagion over which we have more control than we know. If only we share it. If only we notice that joy is not ours to keep, but ours to pass on. So let's light up the world, friends. Joy blesses us with its exuberance so we can make that blessing grow. And now let the children meet Gus in the back in order to get ready to bring in the light. And the rest of you can rise and greet your neighbors and say hello to one another. children to bring in the light.
In a celebration of joy, the flickering flame of a candle, a flame that shimmers, that dances, that cheers, the flame that heartens and encourages us in hard times, the welcoming flame of this community.
Awesome. Thank you, Thea, for helping to light our chalice today. Good morning. I'm Gabe. I am a tall, white millennial male with a pink shirt and tie. I serve as a member of the nominating committee, and I lead the Millennial Covenant Group. Most classes today for children and teens are not meeting because of the weekend holiday, but toddler and infant care is available in room 101. The Neighboring Faiths is currently out on a field trip, and our Navigator Scouts have an urban hike this afternoon. So families with children are welcome to use a busy bag in the back, or the quiet toys in the We Worship area, or Slouter Lounge, or to take a break from service entirely. Today's story is called Peaceful Fights for Equal Rights, written by Bob Sanders and illustrated by Jared Andrew Shore. Assemble, take action, create allies. Make buttons, make banners, make bumper stickers too. Boycott, boycott, boycott. Chant, cheer, call someone. Campaign, camp out. Demonstrate, don't give up, don't give in. Educate, encourage, endure. Be fearless, fly a flag, file a lawsuit, have faith. Give time, give strength, give money if you can. Shake a hand, lend a hand, have hope, be hope. Inquire, inform, imagine, invite. Join others on the journey, join others in the fight. Knit a hat, take a knee, listen, learn, lead, light a candle, write a letter, pass laws, march, mediate, meditate, motivate, never stop. Organize, organize, organize. Parade, picket, post, persist, persevere, pray. Ask questions, never quit. Quietly do what's right. Read, remember, resist. Stand up, speak out, sit down, sing loud, be silent. Strike. Turn up the volume. Unite. Vote, volunteer, keep vigil, be nonviolent, wear it, wave it, work for it, write about it, explain change, exemplify change, expect change. You can only do what you can do, so do it. Be zealous. This story leads us through an entire alphabet of resistance and reminds us of what we can accomplish together when we unite to take action. Please remain seated with your hands over your hearts as we sing Filled with Loving Kindness, number 1031, to sing our beloved children back to their families and back to their seats. My name is Gabriel McDonald, and I'm honored to serve the congregation as a member of the nominating committee. I'm joined on stage by the other members as well. Raise your hand if you know what the nominating committee is. Oh, that's great. More hands than I was expecting. Not every single hand went up, which is kind of what I was expecting. The nominating committee is a very important part of the church, but it's also one of the quietest. So whether you have ever heard of the nominating committee before, whether you've never heard of it before, or are a former member, we wanted to take a few moments to explain to you the important work we do and explain and share with you why it is we do it. I'll pass on to Victoria to talk about what we do.
Hello. Good morning.
It's working.
Oh. All right. Very simply, our core responsibility as a steward, how people move into the Board of Trustees so that leadership on the board is thoughtful and sustainable. It's a place where we can serve without being in the spotlight, except when we're on stage, of course. I'll invite each member to share why they serve.
Well rehearsed that we are. For me, being on the nominating committee is an engaging way to dip my toe into church leadership. It's a maybe 1 hour, maybe a little more than an hour a month, and it's a way for me also to get to know people in the church. Hello, my name's Jack. Jack Holdford. I first came here in 1971. And
And standing to the right of Jack is Eddie Freed. Hello. This church is important to me, and I can think of no greater honor than to be involved in the identification, the encouragement, and the selection of the leaders of this church for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Hey, I'm Denise. I like to serve on the nominating committee because it's an opportunity for introverts like me to work in a small group and build connections in the community.
Hi, I'm Mark Kruger. I'm enjoying serving on the nominating committee because I have great people to work with here up on the stage with me. It's also a great way for me to meet people like you. I'm somewhat of an introvert, believe it or not, as well. And for me, this has also been a great opportunity just to serve the church. It's not something I had done before, and so here I am.
Hello. I love serving on the nominating committee because it's democracy in action, and you get to see and having a direct impact on our local community here at First UU.
Hello, my name's Cindy Wicker. I am on the nominating committee as past board chair, so board liaison. And I love working with these great folks because they are amazing. First of all, your NomCom committee this year, outstanding. I can't gush on them enough. But it's a way of having long-term impact, spending time with dedicated, intentional, diligent folks like them, and who help prioritize people over doctrine. That they do.
I'm Gabe. I really enjoy getting to serve on the nominating committee because it's a space where I get to use my creative efforts to serve my community rather than serving capitalism. Briefly give us a rundown of what the next steps of the nominating committee.
Do we have a next slide there? There we are. So this is the timeline. Over the past couple of months and for the next few weeks, our nominating committee is working with your help to prepare for our upcoming elections. Together, we will be identifying candidates to serve on the Board of Trustees and on next year's nominating committee. Here's how the process works. We start by considering people we know in the congregation, along with names that you share with us. Then we reach out for friendly conversations to them, and we learn about their background, their interest, and how their gifts might serve the life of this congregation. From there, we prepare a slate of candidates, and at our congregational meeting, you will have the chance to vote and choose who will serve in these leadership roles. Your suggestions, questions, and encouragement are an important part of making our leadership reflect the values and spirits of our community.
Thank you. If you think that someone in the church would be a good fit for the nominating committee or the Board of Trustees, we would be very grateful to receive their name for consideration. This can be another member of the congregation, or it can be yourself. If you could please follow the QR code up on screen here to submit any prospective members, that would be really appreciated by us. At this point, this is very open-ended. Submitting a name doesn't create any commitments, but it does start the conversation for us.
So some of the best folks I get to work with here on the committee don't think of themselves as leaders. So I encourage you all, as I've encouraged them, to rethink what is leadership. Let's get past the white supremacist conceptions of what is leadership and think about true leadership, the kind we want in leading this church. There was something else I wanted to say. Yeah. So if you think of yourself or somebody else who might serve you would like to see in a leadership role in this church, please let us know.
If any of what we've said today connects with you or is something you want to be able to connect yourself with, definitely please consider sending us your name, the names of someone that has come to mind. Thank you so much. A member of the nominating committee will also be present at coffee hour today if you'd like to speak further. Thank you.
The February collections for Share the Plate will benefit the diverse and revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries, or DRUM. DRUM is the oldest and largest Unitarian Universalist people of color ministry and anti-racist community organization based in North America. It is an organization affiliated with the Unitarian Universalist Association, or the UUA, which leads efforts towards becoming an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, multicultural UUA. Each year, DRUM puts on a yearly public worship service, and last year, First UU had the opportunity to sponsor and participate in that service on June 15th. We plan to sponsor the service this year as well through our collections from this month. In addition to passing the basket, you can text to give, scan the QR code, or visit firstuucolumbus.org/donate. Thank you for your generosity.
Nobody submitted joys or concerns today. So I want to share a celebration of a kind, and I want to ask anybody who has been in relationship with your partner for over 25 years, let's stand since it's Valentine's Day weekend. Congratulations. Inspirational. Our pastoral listener this morning is Barb Fiorini. You don't have your little thing. She'll be in Beach Hall following the service. If you have anything on your mind or heart and just want to talk, she'd be glad to listen. Please join me in the spirit of prayer, of meditation, of reflection, as we receive these words from the poet Martha Burrow. Is the moon only a distant satellite, and the ocean nothing but an echoing immensity, inert and emptied of delight? Are the deep and wide heavens above no longer full of storied images, but simply patterns of racing ancient light that move as dwindling energy? Are these but things of matter without vital form, mere objects causing us to calculate but not to sing? We taste each holy fragment of this world through clumsy instruments of speech and reach by the wisdom of our flesh a hurled echo of descending grace. To taste it, we must limit with patient and singular hearts, a ritual ancient and yet always new. We require no argument in any season to wrap ourselves in the wonder of each day. Simplicity is also radiance, an unbounding of our vision, the first step towards everything. And now ring our temple bell as we share a moment of silence together.
See
Our reading this morning comes from Clay Rutledge. We often hear about rising rates of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and political polarization, and calls for institutions to address these issues. While we certainly need good leaders and effective institutions, we rarely celebrate what everyday people are already doing themselves to solve these problems. The real-world renaissance I've described here demonstrates something profound about human nature. We are remarkably agentic, resilient, and creative beings. When our current circumstances aren't serving our well-being, we don't just complain. We adapt, innovate, and find inspiration in the past to enhance our lives. This shift toward more real-world experiences represents bottom-up solutions in action. Rather than waiting for top-down fixes, millions of individuals are quietly crafting lives that better serve their psychological and social needs. We should do more to showcase, celebrate, and encourage this remarkable human capacity for self-directed flourishing.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience.
That is lovely. My father passed away 31 years ago, unfortunately, but one of my favorite memories of him was that when he was a young man in Central Texas, he joined the TV station, a small TV station in, I can't even remember the little town. And he decided to do something different. Every time they would hand him the printouts of the stories, and of course, a small TV station only reprinted things from other stations, he would tear it up and only share the good news. You can imagine he didn't last very long in this job. Walter Cronkite had nothing to fear from him. But I cherish this story because it flies so much in the face of all that we are constantly fed day in and day out, and now with social media, moment by moment. Terrible news seems to arrive as a constant barrage, seeping hope and optimism from our spirits. And even when something good comes across, it rarely garnishes the kind of attention that the bad news creates. And it turns out that this is a deeply embedded human trait. Evolutionarily, fortune favored those who could sense danger. So we're trained to attend to the tragic. and it takes an act of will to linger on the good. Especially now when it can feel like our society is crumbling around us, it can feel almost like an act of betrayal to not give that our full attention. To seek for the good can seem like we're burying our heads in the sand, but it turns out that life is not a zero-sum game. Good and bad can exist side by side, and finding pleasure right now is actually an imperative for the good of our souls. Kate Bowler recently wrote this: all of us would rather have been doing other things this week, like figuring out how to prevent a souffle from combusting, or finally clearing the snow off the driveway, but instead, we're slightly terrified, slightly glazed, deeply alarmed. It's a strange thing to carry so much grief and still make dinner, still laugh, still love people fiercely. Like you, she continues, I'm angry, sad, and worn thin by all the things that I can't fix, watching the news and feeling the familiar churn of helplessness, the rise of unchecked autocracy. And still, somehow, we show up for work. We make plans with friends. We put our bodies into chairs and planes and grocery lines. We keep going, even as the ache settles deeper into our bones. And then she quotes C.S. Lewis from his classic On Living in an Atomic Age. If we are all going to be destroyed by an atomic bomb, he wrote, let that bomb, when it comes, find us doing sensible and human things. Praying, working, teaching, reading, listening to music, bathing the children, chatting to our friends. Not because danger isn't real, but because fear does not get to decide what makes us human. I love that. Fear does not get to decide what makes us human. And part of what helps us alleviate that fear is consciously choosing to attend to that which is good. I subscribe to a blog called The Progress Network. And the blog is called What Could Go Right? It comes out each week with a list of good things that happen. I subscribe to a lot of blogs, most of which I skim over pretty quickly, but this one I try to make myself take the time to read each week. I'll give you a few examples just from the past year that they put in a special blog post. The green sea turtle was reclassified as a species of least concern after being close to extinction since the 1990s. And concern levels were downgraded to 20 other animal species this year. Renewable energy was the world's leading source of electricity. Overdose deaths continued their steady decline, with the most provisional data from April showing a roughly 25% drop just from the previous year. Poland abolished its last remaining LGBTQ ideology-free zone. These zones were established in recent years during the administration, which was voted out in 2024. The share of black women in the U.S. with a bachelor's degree has doubled since 2000. The share of black men with the same degree has increased by more than 10 percentage points. 82% of Indian households now have tap water, up from 17% in 2019. And this year, despite things that you may hear from our current administration, American citizens enjoyed a significant drop in crime. 2025 ended up with the lowest murder rate ever recorded. According to one commonly used database, the number of mass killings hasn't been this low since 2006. I could go on. Poverty worldwide is down. Life expectancy is up. Women and LGBTQ people are more protected in many places. Unfortunately, not always here. So let me ask you, as I read this list, did some of you immediately start to counter it with other dire changes in your head? Yeah, you can confess. Yeah, it's okay. I know I did. But the point is, can we let ourselves sit with good news just for a while? I have a real-life example of how helpful this can be to spirits. I recently found out that I have to unexpectedly move out of my house. Just, less than 2 months since my knee surgery. This is not exactly what I had in mind. It really knocked me for a loop, and several people can testify to how annoying my whining about this has been. But just doing the reading and the research for this sermon has made me feel happier, has made me focus on the good things that can come from this move. Maria Popova wrote, "Blessed is the person who delights in seeing the inner child in everyone and the magic in all creatures, who does not shun difficulty and can turn with equal reverence toward sorrow and joy, who can trust fear as the balsam of courage and pain as an instrument for opening the heart, who can pause to notice the delicate luster of a lichen and the undulations of the light, who dares to make hope an axiom of being and is strong enough to be changed by love." Can we be strong enough to be changed by love in whatever form it comes to us in? Open enough to take in the beauty, hopeful enough to allow ourselves to believe that this too shall pass. The context for our reading this morning by Clay Rutledge is an article that he wrote for the New York Times about how Gen Z is leading the way in reclaiming our relationship with real time. You know what I mean. Real time, real people, real experience, concrete things. I know we don't have much experience of that anymore. He talks about it as a form of nostalgia, and in fact, Gen Zers are behind the resurgence of vinyl record sales. He says Gen Z appear to be mining the past to enrich their present lives, especially by fostering a greater appreciation for offline life. He continues with this reflection: nostalgia gets a bad rap. It's often characterized as an unproductive fixation on an idealized past, one that prevents people from living in the present and planning for the future. But in reality, nostalgia helps people thrive in the present and build a better future. Nostalgic memories are often a source of comfort, guidance, and inspiration. Even spending a few moments reflecting on a fond memory or listening to an old familiar song can improve your mood, increase feelings of belonging, and instill a sense of meaning in life. And as he said in our reading, rather than waiting for top-down fixes, millions of individuals are quietly crafting lives that better serve their psychological and social needs. We should do more to showcase, celebrate, and encourage this remarkable capacity for self-directed flourishing. Lest we think that this kind of positivism ignores the presence of evil and destruction in our world, we can turn to the classic writings of Viktor Frankl. Frankl was an inmate of Auschwitz, where he lost his mother, his father, and brother, and many friends. And despite all of the evil that he must have experienced on a daily basis, he emerged from this hell with an intention to figure out how people can still find meaning, even in the worst of circumstances. He wrote a book in the 1940s called Man's Search for Meaning. It was published by the Unitarian Universalist Publishing House, Beacon Press. And not only is it still in print, it is still the best-selling book in their history. Frankl could talk about, of all things, the ability to find humor in any situation. He wrote, "The attempt to develop a sense of humor and to see things in a humorous light is some kind of trick learned while mastering the art of living. Yet it is possible to practice the art of living even in a concentration camp, even while suffering is omnipresent." He cautions against the defeatist, end-of-the-world mindset with which many responded to disillusionment, but he cautions equally against blithe optimism of previous, more naive eras that had not yet faced the gruesome civilizational mirror reflecting what human beings are capable of. Both dispositions, he says, stem from nihilism, in consonance with his colleague and contemporary Erich Fromm's insistence that we can only transcend the shared laziness of optimism and pessimism through rational faith in the human spirit. Frankl writes, "Today, every impulse for action is generated by the knowledge that there is no form of progress on which we can trustingly rely. But if today we cannot sit idly by, it is precisely because each and every one of us determines what and how far something progresses." Everything, he continues, depends on the individual human being, regardless of how small a number of like-minded people there is, and everything depends on each person through action and not mere words, creatively making the meaning of life a reality in his or her own being. But he doesn't believe that making meaning in this way is completely an act of will, but a consequence of applying ourselves to right things. He quotes a short verse by Rabindranath Tagore. "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was duty. I worked, and behold, duty was joy." When we ask, what can we expect from life, Frankl says we are asking the wrong question. Instead, he asks, what does life expect of me? It is not we who are permitted to ask about the meaning of life. It is life that asks the questions, directs questions at us. We are the ones who must answer, must give answers to the constant hourly question of life, to the essential life questions. Living itself means nothing other than being questioned. Our whole act of being is nothing more than responding to, of being responsible toward life. I love this idea of thinking about what life is asking of us rather than obsessing about what life can give us. To me, it means doing all we can to resist the pull toward meaninglessness and despair. As we saw in our children's story, our Time for All Ages this morning, as we've seen in Minneapolis with these incredible acts of resistance, so many things are evidence of responding to what life gives us. When responding to a friend who was contemplating suicide, James Baldwin wrote, perhaps, between now and the last day, something wonderful will happen. a miracle of coherence and release. And the miracle on which one's unsteady attention is focused is always the same. However it might be stated, however it may remain unstated, it is the miracle of love. Love strong enough to guide or drive one into the great estate of maturity, or to put it another way, into the apprehension and acceptance of one's own identity. For some deep and ineradicable instinct, I believe, causes us to know that it is only this passionate achievement which can outlast death, which can cause life to spring from death. So perhaps, we can help ourselves to focus on the good as much as we attend to the terrible. Perhaps we can remember the many instances in which we have been saved by love. Perhaps we can take responsibility for bringing meaning to our lives rather than waiting for meaning to find us. Perhaps, just perhaps, we can believe in hope. So may it be. Our final hymn is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. You can find the lyrics in our gray hymnal.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our love, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our love, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is our gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Please take the hand of someone close to you or place your hand over your heart if you have a cold or something. As we share these words of our benediction from the African-American poet Lucille Clifton. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever, and may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. Amen. And now let us extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and law.